everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Rebecca and we are going to talk about menopause. Well, hello. If you are not going through menopause or soon to be going through menopause or have gone through menopause, I'm sorry if this video isn't like doing it for you. Quite a few of you were like, oh, please do a video on menopause. And I mean, not like out of the blue, you guys just started asking me that. I had mentioned, I keep complaining about it and I'm like, I should just talk about it. So here we go. I'm going to do it in the style of the way some of the true crime channels do it, where they put makeup on and tell a story. I am going to put my makeup on. I'm going to talk about myself, and I'm not going to talk about the makeup, but I will list everything in the description box. How about that? So let me introduce myself. I am 49 years old. I live in the Seattle area, and in 1972, I was born in Park Ridge, Illinois, to two lovely people, Uta and Michael, immigrants from Germany and England, respectively. I am the youngest of three. My sister is a disabled adult living with my mom. My brother is 11 years older than me, lives in Chicago with his family. Okay, there. Disclaimers. I have no medical expertise other than myself. I feel like I'm kind of an expert on myself. This isn't about recommending supplements. This isn't about recommending a diet program. This isn't about any lifestyle, anything. I am telling you my experiences. This is anecdotal. Anything that you decide for yourself, you should consult with your physician first, medical healthcare practitioner, etc., because I do not endorse or give medical advice. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So basically, I think, when did I start noticing changes? I think what they don't tell you about menopause is how early it can start and how unexpected it is. It didn't, when my mother-in-law kept complaining about hot flashes, I just figured, well, she kind of gets sweaty, but I get sweaty, so what's the big deal? And you know, I don't know. I think hot flashes are different for a lot of people, and I think they can be just kind of like sweaty episodes, and you know, where you feel hot. But honestly, I feel like hot flashes for me started with the feeling of anxiety, almost like a tightness in my chest, almost like a closing off of my throat, lightheadedness, flushed. Like I just felt so weird. I didn't know if I was having a panic attack. I didn't know if I was having some kind of anxiety. Like I didn't know if I was having heart problems, and it just was so strange. And then I think I shared about that on social media, and someone said, that's a hot flash. I'm like, oh, I thought a hot flash was where you just wake up in the night sweaty. No, that's night sweats. So there's that. In terms of what I've experienced and how my body is changing and what I'm doing to compensate for that. So I recently went to my doctor, my OBGYN, and I've seen her for at least 10 years. And she's pretty great, but even she didn't dismiss what I said in terms of, she knew, you know, what I was going through and understood. But I was like, can you test my hormones? And she's like, well, it's not really necessary because, you know, hormones fluctuate, and it's probably just going to tell us what we already know, and that based on your age and what you're describing, you're just a menopausal woman. But I explained to her that I'm very health conscientious in terms of I try to be proactive. I do my yearly annual gynecological exam. I try to do my mammograms on time. I go to the dentist because that actually, your dental health is very important. I haven't seen, like, what I do need to do is I need to do like cardiologist, and I have to do like stuff like that. I get blood workup where I know what my thyroid and my cholesterol and that kind of stuff is doing. So I was like, you know, though, I'm a little nervous. You know, I gave up meat and dairy 10 years ago, and that was because I could not figure out my digestion issues. I tried everything. And I basically just read somewhere, like if you give up meat and dairy for a weekend and see how you feel, you know, kind of an elimination diet, where it was more like a how to go 100% plant-based. And then I went ahead and basically just completely went dairy-free and meat-free for like 3 days. And my digestion issues, diarrhea, constipation, you know, whatever, stopped. Like they just stopped. Like my stomach felt good. I didn't have gas. I didn't have bloat. Like I just felt so much better. By the way, this is really hard to do. Sarah from Better Off Red, golly, she's a master. Watching someone put their makeup on while they're talking looks so easy. And honestly, I'm having such a hard time focusing. Okay, so basically, I've incorporated fish in my diet. So I'm kind of a pescatarian, and I have the dairy that I eat is just basically butter, because you guys have heard how much I love butter. So I eat butter, I eat eggs, and I eat baked goods. So if something has something baked in it, I'm okay with it. Now I don't go and eat like a big old bowl of chocolate mousse, because that would just wreck me. So there's times where I go vegan, and there's times where I just know how to moderate it and stuff like that. My point being, back to when I saw my doctor, I was like, I'm just a little worried, because what if I'm not doing enough for myself? You know, like what if I've deprived myself of something, and it's not just hormones, and it's some either deficiency or immune something, and I don't know, you know. And I said, I don't know what else to give up to feel better, because I was feeling awful. I was feeling lightheaded and fatigued and woozy and nauseous, and it was just becoming so strong, and it was really interrupting my day. Like, I think that if something is to the point where it interferes with how you function, like you're in line at TJ Maxx and all of a sudden you feel like you're going to faint. Right now, so this doesn't feel right. What's happening? And then I would get like a mint or something out of my purse and just sit there and make sure I was, you know, because I'm like thinking about how embarrassing that would be if I fainted at TJ Maxx, and like, you know, would I hit my head? And then do they need to call the paramedics? And then you start getting anxious and your heart starts racing. And you're like, oh my God, now I'm having a panic attack. And yeah. So she goes, you know what? Let's check your hormones. And I was like, really? And she goes, yeah, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have just said, you know, don't worry about it, because honestly, it's something that, you know, we should look into. You know, might as well. Like, it'll tell us what we already know, but that's okay. And then we'll just go from there. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. So I have a Mirena IUD, and that is because I do have endometriosis. I have scar tissue. I want to say like over like 10 years ago, I had an ultrasound, and one of my ovaries is like stuck to the side of my uterus, and that's not supposed to happen. Your ovaries are supposed to float. Do you like that? So they were like, so the reason you have pain is because your ovary is just sort of stuck. We can surgically fix it, or you can just go on something to try to eliminate the scar tissue with hormones. And I'm like, okay. So my doctor's like, try the Mirena IUD. It's amazing. It's very low dose. You'll love it. It'll probably just like be enough to suppress anything that is creating this issue for you. And sure enough, it's been amazing because I don't get periods. I get weird things sometimes in terms of like, I call them fake periods because I think like, oh, what the heck is happening? Is this, you know, because I don't even pay attention to the calendar. Yeah, so it's great because I don't have to take anything. I don't have to think, uh-oh, here I go. Let's, you know, pack the Diva cup in my suitcase for vacation, which always happened. If I remember my honeymoon, I just remember every single vacation or amazing event, it was, my period would show up. I'd be like, why? Anyway, sorry. If this is too much information for you, maybe this isn't the right video. Sorry. Trying to kind of make it pleasant and, you know, but dude, we're talking about body stuff. So she checked my hormones, and what I learned was my luteinizing hormone, follicle, something that's called, is in overdrive, which is very common because what's happening is your eggs are like shriveling. Your ovaries are like, yeah, the shop is, we don't got much on the shelf. And your body's going, oh, no, we can do one more. We can do one more. So it's like shoving this hormone to create eggs. And it's basically what makes you feel nauseous and like morning sickness. So everything was like luteinizing hormone, super high, estrogen, super low, testosterone and everything else is just kind of like typical and whatever. What she gave me was a hormone patch that is like the smallest amount of estrogen. And so when you have just that little kick of estrogen, it tells the luteinizing hormones to just chill a second and stop freaking out and working so hard. And that way your symptoms just kind of, you know, dissipate. So the patch is a tiny dose versus a pill. So she could have put me on a low dose birth control pill, but that's still a lot of hormone for what I needed. So for the patch, it was just like this tiny amount of hormone to just kind of give my body like a little bit of, you know, and we'll just have to see. Like, I think we just kind of make this up as we go and we figure out if, you know, how we do it and how long we do this and how I feel. And it definitely helped. It's not perfect. There are days where I'm just kind of like, oh my God, what is happening to me? I feel so gross. But then there's most of the days where I feel like, I'm okay. Now, what else I'm doing in terms of diet and I'm not like a huge worker outer. I don't exercise. I take 30-minute walks every day with my dog and I am constantly on my feet, but I don't have like a lot of steps. My Apple Watch basically tells me I have about 6,000 steps a day and I'm standing for about 12 hours a day. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm not sitting here pushing myself for 10,000 steps because I think it would just be like, I'm just tired. I'm just tired. So then, what else? What else? Oh yeah. So look at me. This is a mess. Okay, hang on. We'll make an even mess and then we'll clean it up. Okay. So I feel a ton better with, you know, the stuff that I've got. I've also, just for kicks and giggles, I take thyroid medication and I'm on an antidepressant. Now you know everything. Just don't get it when people say, well, I just avoided an antidepressant for as long, or I only want to take it for a little while. Well, why? I mean, take it if your body doesn't create something. If you have heart disease and you're on some kind of heart medication and indefinitely, and if you go off that medication, your heart won't function properly, stay on the medication. If you take an antidepressant to help regulate your chemicals, your body probably isn't going to magically just start regulating those chemicals. I mean, I don't know. Does it? But like, it's okay. You feel good on the antidepressants because you're taking them. When you think, oh, I feel good, I don't need to take these anymore. No, just keep taking them. It's okay. It's okay. That's just my little thing. I'm not saying, and if you stop taking them and you feel fine, great. But don't feel bad for taking them, okay? That's my little pep talk. Alcohol is awful for me right now. It gives me migraines. I feel it just makes any type of menopausal symptom worse. So if I'm feeling sluggish, or if I'm feeling headachy, or if I'm feeling just nauseous, if I have a cocktail, I just feel that much worse later. Or sometimes I just wake up with a headache. And so it's kind of a bummer because I like having a drink, but I've noticed some wine is okay. And I've noticed some like hard liquor, like certain tequilas, like are okay, like, but everything in moderation. And I have to make sure I'm like eating enough and I had protein and no sugar, and and then I take like some supplements. I do take moringa at night because someone told me, and she's actually a doctor, and she was like, they say moringa helps with hot flashes. I have no idea any kind of, drug interactions. So definitely make sure. It's one of those like ancient superfoods that everyone's kind of talking about. But I take those supplements, and I do think that it helps me feel better at night. And, like I don't have hot flashes. We also got a purple mattress. And so I was actually too cold at night because I had these microfiber sheets on my purple mattress. And the purple is like super airflow promoting. And it was like I was too cold. So I put flannel sheets on my purple mattress, and it's like perfect. I'm cozy. I'm not sweaty. No meat, no dairy, no alcohol. If you tell me to give up caffeine, God help me. I do drink a lot of coffee. I drink a lot of tea. But I hydrate, I drink kombucha, I swear by probiotics. Like I've been using probiotics for 10 years or more. Okay, I definitely broke some eyelashes because I've got some short ones here. So, oh yes, so pretty. So pretty. Okay. So basically, I feel like it's a lot of experimentation. It's trial and error. It's figuring out what works for you. Here, let's do liner and then I'll finish. I say it's about trial and error, figuring out, what works, what doesn't. And also, advocate. Like, just if your doctor doesn't give you it's hard to say just find another doctor, because that's not okay. Like, that doesn't happen depending on where you live, what kind of insurance you have. Like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and be like, just find a new doctor, because that's a pretty crappy privileged thing to say. No, I think that what you can do though, and also just be wary of like health blogs. Be wary of people selling you something. I'm not saying don't, I'm just saying be wary. A doctor doesn't need to sell you anything, you know, but if somebody is like, oh, you don't need that, that's just, you know, pharma getting after you, you need this, and then they're like selling you a very expensive supplement. How's that any other? Like, what? That's not even like, you know, FDA. Not that the FDA is the almighty, but it does, without it, we'd be a whole lot worse off. Let's just put it that way, right? Okay. So yeah. So just be careful. Read ingredients. You know, try to comparison shop, that kind of thing. I keep mints and things in my purse. I keep this like, it's a flower, it's called Bach flower remedies or something. And it's supposed to be like homeopathic, but it's this herbal spray, and it's like 90% alcohol. But you do it like under your tongue or on your tongue, and it's supposed to help with, stress, and it really helps. For me, it really does. There's lozenges too. Emma Watson is so cute. She swears by them. I was watching a Vogue video with her, and she was pulling them out of her purse, and I'm like, I use those too. So, yeah, so those are like the things. So I'll list below stuff I have that I like, and then you can decide, you know, it's because I like to hear what other people use, what other people enjoy. And yeah, it's not like you need to just suffer through it until all of a sudden you're 55 and you've dried up. Like, just know that you can do things to help yourself, and there's support, and yeah. So, yeah, and that's it. That's my journey. And I've got like, you know, I just sort of boarded the train, and I'm going to keep on going. I'll let you know when I get to the next station. I don't know. Anyway, alrighty. Well, thank you so much. Maybe we'll just do some more chit chats like this, where I come up with topics. It might be menopause again. It could be parenting. It could be whatever, right? Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. And I hope you're great. Please subscribe. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye.